for a new week of your daily dose of medicine. Traditionally in the CrossFit world, we do a Memorial Day murph, but we are far from being ready for that. So instead, we've got murph prep for you today and just a standard workout. As always, start with those 10 belly breaths. Allow yourself that grace and space to take 30 to 45 minutes just for you. So once we've done that, we're gonna do our 10 shoulder rollouts for our warm-up today. I've just got a band here. If you've got a PVC pipe, great. Broom, whatever you've got handy, go ahead and use that for those 10 shoulder rollouts. Once we've done that, we're gonna drop down for 10 total Spider-Man hip openers. So from that planked position, we're gonna bring our foot outside of our hand and then switch at your own pace. Big priority is make sure that we have that full foot to the ground. Big long stretch through the hips. From there, we're gonna go into our plank to down dog. So from this planked position, we're gonna drive nose to toes, big long stretch through the hamstring, back to that planked position. 10 in total, 2 full rounds. We have been spending Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the last 2 weeks, so this is week 3 heading into our murph prep. We're gonna do a full round of Cindy either every minute or every 90 seconds. So 1 round of Cindy is 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. If you are completing all of that work in 30 seconds, maybe 35, go ahead and stay at the every minute on the minute. If it is taking you 45 seconds to a minute to complete that, or possibly longer, stay on that 90 seconds for the 4 rounds. If we are still at home and we don't have access to a pull-up bar, not a problem. We can do a bent over row with a barbell. In this case, I've also got a kettlebell handy here. The bent over row, our index finger, if we're on a barbell, will come right at the smooth and the knurling. We're gonna think about coming from the top of the kneecap to the belly button, leaving elbows tight to the sides. We would double that number up. So instead of doing 5 pull-ups, we would do 10 bent over rows. We would then come in and do 10 solid straight body push-ups. So wrist, elbow, shoulder stacked. We're gonna look to get the chest physically all the way to the ground, back to full extension. If we struggle keeping that straight body position and hitting full range of motion, go ahead and elevate your hands. Could be a coffee table. If you've got a bench or a box handy, go ahead and use that as high as we need to. Could be even a countertop. 10 consecutive. We're then gonna come into our air squats, heels outside of the hips. We're gonna look to keep the weight rooted in the heels while also keeping the entire foot planted on the ground. Range of motion, our ideal range of motion is gonna be getting that hip to crease the knee, back to that full standing position each time. So we wanna avoid that lazy chest where we let the chest fall forward and then we never really fully open it again, leaving us short of getting back to that full end range. So 5, 10, 15 for 4 rounds. Again, it could be every 60 seconds or every 90, depending on what our skill level is at. For our workout of the day, we're gonna pull out a barbell. In this case, I've got a light barbell loaded. It's only 35 pounds. The workout itself, I believe, is at 185 for the men, 105 or 115 for the women. It's in the description. Go ahead and look down at that. Hang power cleans. So a thumb distance in from the smooth and the knurling. I always recommend the hook grip. So thumb is gonna come around the bar. Pointer finger, middle finger are gonna come over top of that. From here, heels are gonna go underneath the hips. We often wanna think about hinging versus squatting. A squatting hang power clean is incorrect, where the knees come forward and the chest stays nice and tall. Instead, we want to hinge. Hip goes back, chest comes forward, arms stay nice and long. From here, I'm going to open up through the hip and the knee. Ideally, I'll wait until that hip and knee hit that full extension before the elbows begin to pull. I'm then going to look to end with the bar in a front rack position. without letting the bar swing in front of me. So if I let the bar get too out front, it's going to look more like a reverse barbell curl, or this big kind of rainbow position, versus leaving the bar as tight to the body as you can get it. A very strange, quirky tip I heard once was thinking about the bar being a paint roller, and I'm trying to use that and leave a stripe up my midsection. Seems like a very odd, strange cue, but for some reason that works for people, right? That just kind of visual, simple visual. From there, goal is 25 feet, handstand walk. If we do not have a handstand walk, not a problem. I'm not even going to pretend to demo that right now. I'm not that good at them. I can get myself through it, but not coaching and doing. There's only so much I can do as far as handstands go. So if we don't have a handstand walk for 25 feet, we could sub in the bear crawl that we're using in the capacity, since we get this barbell out of the way. So with our bear crawl, we want to think about low bear. It's the best from a efficiency and maximizing core stabilization. So from this tabletop position, we're going to elevate our knees off the ground while trying to leave the back parallel to the floor, and from there we'll crawl. So you could do a bear crawl for 25 feet. If we're at a point where we want to do shoulder taps, if I wall walk up the wall, so chest facing the wall, I could then come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 30 shoulder taps as well. So I could do a heavy barbell hang power clean and then go into shoulder taps 5 rounds. If we're doing the capacity or the other equipped workout, we're going to go 15 Russian kettlebell swing, meaning we should go a little bit heavier. So if I am comfortable swinging a 36 overhead, I should go at least 44, if not 55 for this movement. Similar to the hang power clean, heels are going to go outside of the hips. From here, as I hinge back, I'm going to leave my wrist as tight to my hips as I can. From there, I'm going to snap open. You can see that my wrists are still connected to the hip. As soon as I hit that full extension, similar to the hang power clean, my hands will then take over, and I'm getting my arms parallel to the floor. So 15 total kettlebell swing. From there, I'm going to go into the 25-foot bear crawl, and then 30 shoulder taps. Sorry, I got a little lost in there. So you can either do the 25-foot bear crawl or the 30 shoulder taps elevated, or if we are in the capacity, we can come into that plank shoulder tap crossing over, so you're forcing each wrist to kind of stabilize. That we're going to do for 6 rounds. So we've got a 9-minute amrap or 6 rounds. Once we have finished the workout, we're then going to come into a low dragon on each side. Lunging position. Trailing knee will rest on the ground. We're really focusing on opening up this back leg. So I like to have my toe facing the ground or laces towards the ground, so that relaxes my ankle. And I can really just stretch through that back leg. So 1 minute on each side. We're then going to come onto our back to that supine twist. So one leg will stay long, opposite leg will twist over. And again, we really just want to try and breathe through this. Let our opposite shoulder, I should say same shoulder, so if my right leg is over, I'm trying to get my right shoulder to just relax towards the ground. 1 minute each direction for that as well. If we've got the time, go ahead and do that for 2 rounds. There's no such thing as too much mobility. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.